Yes, welcome back to Radio RFM, home of African music. This is one and only Queen Victoria with the African Guides for Kids show today, and hoping that you are doing fine. But before that,
this is the African Guide for Kids show by QV.
Only underground radio station.
This is Radio RF. This is Overheads.
it's all about one thing that I just want to ask everyone that that is around the globe. How do you feel sometimes when just somebody just come to you and they just assume something about you? Now, for example, when you meet a big person, you know those people who are in German, they say goodbye ananda. There's one thing that they say that they just look like they can fight. Like they just go with that assumption you can fight. And then you meet that small person and you'll be like, this one I can do whatever I feel like I can do. You know, and they just meet somebody who is this race, and they say this person. Now, for example, if I go to what is that assumption like with the our people, they'll be like, these people, they just deal with bombs, they just do all the kind of mess that they just find. You know, everything that is only assumption. Why is it there is always that assumption in us? Okay, now for us, we're not talking about psychology right here. We're talking about the African Guides for Kids show, of course, whereby we have to learn and just see how the world is around and how they just take each one of us, especially when it comes to the people who are African indigenous, where they just go, and it's obvious when you meet an African person, there's always that one thing that they just assume about you, and that's what you're going to learn about today, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But before that, I have a visitor whom I think I'm just going to give that opportunity, whereby I think it was about one situation where he's going to explain it, about him being at sports, and there was that person who is always shouting and expecting the response. Yeah. So, but before that, let's hear what the young man got to say about the whole situation. Hi, how are you? Kwanzia kwanza, salamu kwanza.
Sasa?
Poa. How are you?
I'm very fine.
Welcome back. Welcome. It's been a minute. Yeah?
Yeah.
Since you came in here. Ebu tuambie, what happened?
At sports.
Yeah.
I can't really remember that moment. I have to think about what moment.
Okay.
What did I say?
Yeah, you had told us about something sometimes back about there was this moment whereby you were in the sport and the coach was kind of rude to you just because he assumed that you were rude at him, and it was in the middle of the game.
Oh,
now, yeah. Now you remember that is the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there was I had a game against a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I fouled someone.
Yeah.
And then I said that I didn't foul him.
Yeah.
Then he started saying that I was rude to him for saying that I didn't foul him.
Yeah.
Then he started saying that I'm the ref here. I give the rules. I give the rules. You don't. But then even the other player said that I didn't even really foul him. Yeah. But then he said that he is going to give me a technical foul only because of saying that I didn't foul him. Okay.
The fact that he went ahead and said that, you know, him telling you that he's the referee or he's whatever that he is, and the fact that he was loud, you know, in front of the room, and showing the rest of the people that you're being aggressive, and everybody could see. It's as if he's talking to a wall. Let me assume that. Let me say like that. It was like he was talking to a wall, because the person he was talking to, there was, as now you, namely you, He was not even shouting. He just looked at him and he continued playing, but he continued being aggressive and loud. How is it even possible in this entire world for someone to just shout, a whole creature, a whole grown up, to go ahead and shout on a child because they think they are expecting for that child to be aggressive back? Yeah, so it's something that I'm going to say. We just something we're talking today. It's about the aggressivity that everybody have assumed as not even aggressive, not even only when it comes to fight, or not even when it comes to shout. You can see that when you go somewhere, especially me, also me, let me say, among so many situations, especially at work. I remember when I was new. Yeah, not here. There was another place where I was working. When I was new, I remember when I got inside that place, people start calling, saying, like talking the getaway. Let me put it the getaway, like calling the B words and, and using the F words whenever I'm around. Like trying to be, like, yo, I can speak rude, I can be mean, I can use all these mean words. Why is it like that? What mentality do you have when you meet a person and you just assume, hey, yo, this person can be rude as well? And then they get aggressive the moment where you don't take part in their aggressivity. Because you see, when someone is trying to fight, let me say it like this, when someone is trying to fight and they don't fight back, there's always that thing that they be like, why are they not fighting back? And the fact that they are angry about themselves, not you fighting back, again, they get angrier. This is why I'm talking about that moment where these people who go with an assumption of they can be rude, they can talk rude, they can be loud just because they hear the black people or the African people are loud. They can be using all those rugged words, against us, or maybe in our presence. I just find it so mean. And the fact when you don't take part with that rude, those vulgarness, or let me say vulgarity, when you don't take part of it, they get angry. They be like, and they get angry for you not participating in what they think it should be, when everyone knows out there that it's not right, whatever they are doing, And that's why I'm on the other side. I would like you, as a young nation, as a young generation that is coming up, let's know where first all this came from. Why all the people have the aggressive, they assume that we are aggressive. Let's go back to the time where the slavery was taken. Every part of Africa, children were taken, women are taken, young men, old, were taken and gotten to the part where they served as slaves, especially when it comes to us, African people. They made us do things that we were not used. First of all, we were plucked out of our culture. We were taken out. We were thrown into places where none of us was understanding what was going on. I'm talking about our ancestors. They did not understand, and us being passionate. Africans, we are passionate. We are very passionate when it comes to singing. We guys have, you know how much, when it comes to the world, we are very passionate when it comes to singing. That means we are very emotional. When something makes you passionate, that means you're emotional about it. That means you're connected. That means you want to be, it's there, like you want to show it. So even when we are talking, it's just so passionate. And it doesn't matter when we love with a lot of passion. When we just like, when you do something, we do with a lot of passion. And the same case applies when somebody comes to us in a bad way. We also do it. Unfortunately, the world just took that part where we only react after an action, because we are not crazy people. We are not. We are very normal. And that's what happens even the days before, is that they went and put all these kings and queens they plucked them from their own empires, from their own kingdom, and they made them go and work in fields to collect cotton, to just do as their house helps or whatever. They did all the worst things you can imagine they did to these people. They did not show that part. They only showed that part where we or our ancestors were angry because they could not believe, how is it possible for someone to just take me out of my mother's and father's land to come and make a slave out of me? And they don't show that. They don't say that. They only show that that passion in when it comes to us protecting ourselves, you know. And that, unfortunately, when we go to his story, because that's his story, the story of him who came and just took the bad part and forgot to show where they made us suffer. They took his story and they brought it to the world. This is what the African indigenous people are: aggressive, rude, rugged, or whatever. How much of the gain did you have? Till today, we can see, we just talked to a very young, he is a teenager, who happened to be in the middle of the field. It was a middle of a lorry. He was playing, and it was fields filled with with people. And people were watching how he was how he was shouting at this young man. And everybody could see he was really talking to himself. Me too, like I said, at work, you just go there and they start talking ruggedly, like using all those words. I've not only seen that, I've seen people, you know, when Africans, we get inside where a lot of people are, you see how people start dancing in a very weird way, like saying, are you not the people who dance like this? No, we are not. And if we do it in a very decent manner. Why? In this way, those are our cultural dances. Those are cultural dances. We have seen all those dances whereby ladies shake the God-given bodies, and you know, because that's how we are created, because of our culture. So we dance it in different levels. What do we do to make the things to make it better for the generation that is coming? Or how are we supposed, for us who are here, to correct or to help the children that are coming up, the Gen Z and the generations that are afterwards? How do we do it? We have to do one thing. Let's create boundaries. Let's create boundaries whenever we do things where or present us Africans whenever we are, okay? And let us teach our children to be proud, to be passionate. They let them be able to express themselves wherever they can in this way. Back to Radio RFM.
This is the African Guide for Kids Show by QV.
Yes, welcome back to African Guides for Kids show, where we talk more about Africans and the African indigenous, and more about them and the issues that we go through, both quiet and both in peaceful and both in fighting's way. What do we do about that? And now today we had a topic about the assumption of people being aggressive, the assumption of people thinking that we are just love to fight, the assumption of people thinking that whenever we are within, they can behave ruggedly. Now, this is what we are going to do. As young generations that are coming up, I would like to tell you one thing. Whenever you feel someone is disrespecting you, make sure to create that boundary. It doesn't matter if it's your boss, if it's your cousin, if it's a cousin from another race, if it's your sister from another race. Make sure to give them a limit. Tell them that is who you are, and they have to respect the fact of who you are. Okay? Tell them to respect it. Tell them to respect you. Whenever you feel that sometimes there are situations whereby you be like, Jamani, I should say something. You say it, but try or do the controlling of yourself whenever you're talking. Because right there, they might not, they will be ashamed of themselves. They'll just go and maybe rethink. Or maybe if they're not good in thinking, let me tell you about what I've learned about people here in Germany, especially because this is where I stay, is that they kind of, they're good in assuming. Let's first put it like that. They're very good in assuming, and the moment you ignore them, and you leave, they just continue with that thing. They continue and think that they won that previous. I put it in quotes, that previous fight. The best thing about dealing with someone who is a German is you talk it out. Tell them your mind. Tell them what you think. Tell them this is what you did, and this is what I felt, and I didn't like it. You don't have to explain to yourself, but tell them what they did was not right. If maybe they're in a position whereby you cannot talk them directly, make sure to contact somebody who can talk to them. Now let's go to the other Caucasians in America. For those, I'm going to give you a heads up. You always need your camera. You always need something to show. You need, what do you call, an Zeugen or a witness or something you show. Where you show people this is basically what happened. And for that, they can deal with other people who have sense and tell them that was not right, until maybe they be able to pay fines. They are told their peace is kind of played with. That's when they think about it. So different people, different reactions. Okay? So whoever you are, young or old, make sure to dress properly, to talk properly with respect, to go to represent whenever you go. Present yourself like that king and queen. When they say that Africans were being led by king or queens, present yourself. If you're not yet a queen or a king, present yourself as a prince and a princess. Go to school, go to work, do what you're supposed to do with your brain. Like we say, like Africans, we are the most brainy people. Go and do that. Go to school. Go make yourself, educate yourself. Always, actualize your knowledge every other time, so that whenever you're sitting in a group of people, whenever you talk, they know where to set your boundaries. Because that setting boundaries, it doesn't mean that you have to tell them this is what's supposed to be done, this is not supposed to be done. No, you do it by action. You do it by saying, the way you present yourself, the way you talk. That's how you set your boundaries. Yeah. So whenever and if you're at work, also do that. Actualize yourself. There's something they call Fortbildungen. Do that. Just go and actualize yourself. Tell them, they always know that. Tell them, I want to go to school. I want to go back to school. So that they can just know this is not only the boo the fool that, people think. This is a great person. She has a great personality, how they talk, how how they're going to school, and how they're all doing that. How you dress, not dressing all those, dress properly. If you have to show, sometimes we women, we have that moment where we just, to feel good about ourselves. You can go, it's okay, feel good about yourself, but how do you behave after feeling good about yourself? For those who are talented, make sure people to know that I am talented, I have this, and this is what I own. This is who I am. Okay? That's a great way to prevent all these assumptions that are going around. We're going to talk more about that. However, before I forget it, remember this is Radio RFM, home of African music, Europe's #1 African station. For advertisement, remember, if you want to advertise with us, you can go through our email. You can go and send us an email through radior1923@gmail.com, or you can visit us on our www.cradior.com. Make sure, if you want to get us one-on-one, or maybe you missed something that was that the previous episodes or whatever, just to go on our YouTube. However, you can get to listen to us on www.cradior.com. Make sure to click on live. Not only that, we have our social media platforms, and that is on Facebook, which we are actually live right now. It's Radio RFM. On IG is Radio R99.2 FM. On X, we are Radio RFM. On YouTube is Radio RFM. Make sure to write home of African music. And on TikTok, we are at Radio RFM. Make sure to just slide on the DMs and just send us a message of encouragement, critique, or just any compliment. We are there to learn each and every day. But before we finish, I'm going to ask the young man to tell us what he thinks about what should be done to reduce these assumptions that people have against us Africans.
I think it should stop right away, and people should notice that it's not our fault. It's not our fault that they think that we are aggressive, and they should start thinking how to be peaceful in their minds and think good about other people than negative, because negative, like I says, for or Tyler,
to judging, yeah.
It's like you should not judge someone before to even get to know them. For example, if some stranger just walks by and says that you stole something from someone, but they don't have proof, and then that person ends up being someone very known, and that person will end up in prison or I don't know where. And I just think that it should stop, because it's unfair that people think of black people that they are aggressive and not kind. Yeah.
Thank you very much. There's something that you mentioned about peaceful. It's true. If you are not peaceful with yourself, it's true, you're not going to see as if the others are peaceful. You're always thinking on how to create dramas and all that. That is very right. Yeah, we have seen a lot of situations whereby some just black people randomly get to be confused and taken, like they are told they stole, I don't know, they're in this wrong premises, only for it to end up that they are the owners of that place, they are owners of those luxuries or those places that those currents think they own, or they think the black people should not own. We have seen a lot of situations, yeah. So it's true. People should really stop about that. You should also feel obligated to go and create peace. And creating peace, you need to look good. You need to feel good. You need to learn good. You have to, do great things. So that's why Shunston Boutique is there for you. Yeah, if you want to feel yourself, if you want to feel good about yourself, you can always look good. You can always make yourself feel good from inwards, and then it's going to come outwards. And that's why Shunston Boutique is there for those who want to go and order something on that website. Is www.shunstonboutique.com. That is where their website is, because they believe that you deserve to look better than yesterday. You can get them on their social media platforms. That is SB_Action Design on the Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X, that is SB_Ashen Design. On Pinterest, it at Shunston Boutique. For those who might not be knowing or understanding what is going on, just go on our social media platforms and you're going to get more information about Shunston Boutique. Remember, Shunston Boutique, you deserve to look better than yesterday. This is Radio RFM, home of African music, and we'll be meeting up next with our DJ with the Afrobeats. How happy are you right now? Because it's going to get happier. It's going to go down. That's what our director is telling us today. I hope you're doing fine. And till then, have an awesome moment and a blessed evening today.